Today, on the Terrible Warriors, the walls come tumbling down, and in a moment of violence, the trio are freed from the bindings of the illusion. As the truth draws nearer, they are transported back to familiar trappings, but questions still remain. Above all, where did Blue come from? Autumn and Aiden try to hold it together as they are pushed to their limits of reason in part 7 of our playthrough of Kult Divinity Lost. Checking out.
You guys are in that hostel with like that long table with about 20 individuals staring at you as Blue has just caved in this old woman's nose, and she's still kind of bleeding, choking on her own blood. You see some of the bone like kind of shrapnel pushed up into her skull. Pieces of her flesh have kind of slid off of her face onto the ground in a pool of blood and kind of that pus. And yeah, she's just twitching on the ground while everyone's watching you.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. We gotta go.
I was already moving towards the door. I was trying to hold Blue's hand, and you just like wrenched yourself out of me and just, yeah, time to run.
Blue, oh my fucking god.
We were already getting out the building. This whole place felt like a trap. Now it feels like a liability.
Yeah.
Even worse than a trap. It's a liability.
You guys notice all 20 of them like get up and start going towards the walls. So they're not going towards you at all. When you run to face the doorway, looking at it, it's closed. What was once an open doorway leading out into the sunlight of a beautiful Italian morning has this very steel white door with part of this painted number on the side of it that says 191, just kind of on the top right in very small letters.
Autumn like slams against the wall and is like feeling along it for any cracks, and is just like fuck, like upon seeing the number, like swearing. I'm gonna open up my magical intuition to see if I can, I don't know, like get a feel for this space.
Open yourself up to the universe.
Blue is frozen and kind of staring at her hand and like shocked that actually happened and it worked, and like maybe worked a little more effectively than I imagined.
I got a 12.
All right.
Which means I think I get to ask a question specifically, but I think like the gist of it is I'm trying to like find the door and try to see through whatever this metal plate is.
Yeah, you see like a curved door with a square, very small window. You see a little bit of rain hitting the outside of the glass, and the door has like this plastic interior with like this emergency knob.
Look at it. It's an airplane door.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the door from the inside of the airplane.
Do we ever fucking leave her? Blue doesn't notice. She's just standing there in shock.
Yeah. I mean, Blue, you would like looking at your hand, you notice that the 20 people are kind of smashing the inside of the hostel's wall. So you see bits of the mortar fall to the ground, and on the other side, you see like airplane chairs and kind of windows looking out into a rain-filled exterior. And they're just kind of tearing everything apart around you, dropping it bit by bit, pulling up the ground to reveal like that airplane carpet.
You know what? Aiden's going to start doing something like that as well. I actually want to roll to help the people in the room start pulling up like the carpet and the floorboards, because I want to we still that door is an airplane door, and that's airplane chairs, and okay, they were on the phone saying enjoy your flight, sir, and so that's it. I'm gonna start pulling down the set dressing as well.
Yeah, you don't have to roll for it. Like, you just start to pull it off, and you're joining the people as they do so. Autumn, you have the door in front of you if you want to exit.
Yeah, Autumn's
Don't
like,
open that door if we're still in there.
Autumn's like, sorry, I see through the door. It's not into a hallway. It's to outside the plane, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like jump out the plane in midair? Question mark?
Yeah, it's dark and rainy outside, so it's hard to see.
Yeah, we're somewhere over the mid-Atlantic.
Okay. Autumn's like, we're dreaming. We have to be dreaming. Is this a dream? Or did, we never get off this plane? And she'll turn to Blue and be like, Blue, what the fuck, Blue? And doesn't know what to do. She's kind of frozen.
Yeah, so when you turn to Blue, you realize that it's no longer Blue. It's that very blonde-haired, gorgeous woman wearing this kind of very thin, sheer see-through top, just dress that goes all the way down to the floor. Carpet is underneath her bare feet.
Is this the same being I saw with their fingers over Autumn's shoulders up in the hallway before we came running downstairs?
It's kind of she's way more beautiful than that, though. The blonde hair does kind of feel like it. But yeah, Autumn, you see a TV in front of her. She has a remote, and she's kind of going from one channel to the next, almost as if trying to find something interesting to watch. But you know, when you go to a hotel room and you flip through 50 channels, but they're all the same, and there's nothing ever good on.
Do I recognize this woman as my cult leader?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. So, she's the leader. She's the one who is maybe I've never really interacted with her before. She's always been a bit distant to me, but Autumn will come around in front of her, and I kind of feel like I've been seeing this woman around, she's been around, and she'll ask, Cersei, how did you get on the plane? Are you on the plane? And Autumn's kind of babbling a little bit.
She looks at you and looks around, and then towards the motel bed, this very kind of full-size bed up on this plastic kind of razors. There's a wooden table right next to it, and there's about 6 women on the bed laying out asleep, with one man in the center of it, split from penis all the way up to his neckline, just kind of opened up, and there are flowers in those spaces of different variety. They're very beautiful, but covered in blood.
Is Aiden aware of any of this, or am I just pulling floorboards off of the floor?
Yeah, you're pulling, you're ripping the things. Blue is staring at this blood-soaked hand that she has.
And do I still see the scene with Aiden? And no, I'm by myself here.
Yeah, you're elsewhere.
So has Blue registered anything Autumn has tried to say to her?
No, it's kind of like that,
Yeah. We're all we're in autumn time right now.
Autumn time. And Autumn will kind of kneel in front of this beautiful blonde woman, her cult leader, and say, please, I am lost. I don't know where I am. I don't know how I got here. I don't remember. What is this? What do you want from me?
She'll kind of get down on her knee, and you notice that her fingernails are sharpened just on the left hand. The right one is significantly chewed down. An imperfection on a mostly perfect body. And she traces these sharpened nails across your cheek and says, Autumn, you don't kneel, not in front of me and not in front of anyone else.
And as the nails kind of scrape across Autumn's cheek, she kind of shivers and gasps a little bit, and tears up, because this great woman, this authority figure, is recognizing her, is seeing her, and she nods and will slowly stand. Can you tell me what is happening? My memory seems foggy. How did we get here? Are things coming back as Autumn's asking this about how she got here where she is?
Yeah, you remember a vague white van, lights coming towards you on a highway speeding past, blurred images of a dusty road and a fog encircled household out in the middle of the woods. You can kind of almost hear that while the inside of this looks like a motel, it sounds like you're in the middle of nowhere. You can hear nature just kind of scratching and crawling outside. Even the leaves and the tree branches are kind of scratching against this little domicile.
Okay, and does this scene with the man cut open and full of flowers, is this something that Autumn would have seen or witnessed before?
I think this is the first time.
Okay.
You've heard of it.
So I know what I'm looking at, and I'm feeling grateful to be here as I'm taking it in, and Autumn will sort of, as the cult leader, as Cersei isn't maybe like as responsive as she wants, she'll like kind of turn towards the kind of ritual scene with the bed and the woman and the man split open and walk slowly over there, entranced. And she'll go and she'll pick up one of the flowers. And what kind of flower is it?
So before you can pick it up, she really quickly and with no small amount of violence and force grabs your wrist before you can touch the flower. And you feel it tighten around you, and it hurts for almost a second, but she kind of relents a little bit and places her other hand on the small of your back. We don't take what others have sowed.
I was just looking. I wasn't going to take it. I'm sorry. Autumn lowers her gaze. What do you want me to do?
Throughout all of our lives, men have seeded us. They, very much like this image you see before you, they have placed us upon this bed, they split us open, and they put their seed, and out comes something beautiful. This is us taking that power. Do you understand?
I understand. It feels right. It feels like how it should be. It's beautiful. And Autumn is like tearing up a little bit. Like she's like, oh yes, this makes sense. I'm meant to be here. I'm witnessing this moment of this like full circle completion of how life should be.
Mm-hmm. And her lips kind of touch your tears. And she takes both of your hands, puts them together, and says, you have a seed. Plant it.
I will plant the seed. I vow it.
All right. She takes a step back. She places either one of her hands on your shoulders, and it kind of just parts the clothing that you have, letting it drop to the floor so that you stand naked before this scene. You can feel her behind you as you feel her approval as you look down at this man who's been opened up with all these little flowers blossoming out of him.
Autumn is a little self-conscious at first. This is her first time being part of this sort of ritual and has never been really in touch with her body and is like covering up a little, like not with her clothing, but with her hands and with her body language, and is a little uncertain of kind of what comes next. What is the seed she's meant to plant? I suppose she has her own interpretation, but now she's feeling like maybe something's expected of her.
Yeah, I mean, you feel a small object on the back of your
Can I see what it is? Can I like
Yeah, you can
spit it
put
out?
your finger in and
Or
take
that.
it out.
Yeah.
And it's a seed.
Oh. Can I plant the seed in the body?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Where are you placing it?
Autumn climbs in amongst the nude women, slowly, kind of self-conscious still, and takes the seed, and she's gonna place it back on her tongue, and she's gonna put it in the guy's mouth with her mouth, using her tongue to slip it between his cold, dead lips.
What's strange is he's not cold at all. He's warm. You feel breath upon you when you place your lips against his.
Yeah, she slips him some tongue.
Yeah.
Deposits the seed, and she's crying a little, like she's having a religious experience.
Yeah. And looking down, after a few seconds, it blossoms. What flower did you plant?
A carnation.
Yeah, it just kind of blossoms out of his mouth, and you see his chin split open as the roots kind of stretch out to join the other flowers, creating this beautiful maze-like forest deep within him.
Autumn will kind of lean back and touch her fingers to her lips and like kind of... Does she have any like sort of inkling about like she came from somewhere else? Does something feel off? Like, does she have any sort of... Does she remember Blue or Aiden at all? Or is she very in the moment now?
You remember everything. It's just kind of... You were in one place and now you're in another. And
Okay.
there's expectations, and it's almost like being in a dream.
Okay, so she's gonna lean back and kind of touch her fingers to her lips, and then she's gonna look over at Cersei and say, I think I should go find my friends now.
Why? Why is that important?
I have to look after Blue.
She's right there.
And Autumn looks to where she points. Is Blue there?
She's pointing to the split in this man's
Oh.
chest.
No, Blue is a person. A woman.
You feel her hand kind of rest on the back of your neck. And with a little bit of force, she turns and bends you over this opening in this guy's stomach.
I would say at this point, Autumn begins to feel unsafe a little bit. Maybe pushes back a little. She doesn't want to go there. She doesn't want to get towards the stomach. She's just... Something about it feels off, and she will resist. She pushes back against the force. Like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I already planted my seed. What do you want?
Yeah, you see her looking towards you from the side, though the hand still rests upon your neck. You place your seed in this man's lips, the same as women are expected and have been expected.
It's all happening in like real time for Blue and Aiden. Like we're just waiting.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost a time. Actually, it's a time dilation in a way.
Okay, so we're not noticing the time happening. Okay.
Yeah, this is all dream logic with the way time is playing out. Autumn just got pulled out of
Reality
the lobby
a little bit.
/ airplane corridor just as we were pulling the set dressings down, and they were just back in this ritual room that they had seen in like the second or third episode.
Autumn's like making eye contact with Cersei and saying like, I planted my seed. You told me to plant my seed. I'm sorry, I did it wrong. Please.
There's no wrong way. It just tells you where you're at in your journey.
I can do better.
Then look. Right there.
Autumn tries really hard not to look, but has to look. What does she see?
Yeah. You see Blue, her face in that stomach, her hand kind of pressed up against her face as she's staring up from these flowers.
And Autumn will reach out and cup Blue's face. Say, Blue, why are you here? You shouldn't be here. What's happening?
The blonde woman kind of pulls you back gently by the neck.
What? How do you know Blue? How is Blue here? This happened before, but I knew Blue after this. And Autumn's a little bit like trying to place the timeline in her mind. And she's like, well, this happened, but then like I saw Blue after, but how is Blue here? Why is Blue here? And she's like kind of, maybe she's pacing around the bed a little bit. And she keeps looking back at the stomach cavity.
Yeah. This blonde woman approaches you and wraps her arms around you in a loving embrace. She feels cold, though.
Where did you plant your seed, Cersei?
She whispers in your ear, and you feel like the little hairs of your ear kind of stand at attention for this lovely exchange. Roll Keep It Together if you want to know what she said.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it together.
It's together, bitch, because I want to know.
Okay.
Do it!
11.
Yay! What are you feeling, stability-wise? And definitely your stability goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your choice?
I feel scared.
I planted my seed in you.
But I'm not. And Autumn like gestures, like throws an arm. I'm not the right thing. And like she's talking about like I'm not a man, but she can't seem to spit it out. And she's like, I can't. I'm just like, that's not what you said. That's not right.
That's exactly what I meant. And you feel her like hands dig into the back of your shoulder, slip through the skin, and you can feel her nails on the back of your shoulder blades kind of scratching against the bone.
Autumn's starts to like writhe against it, like trying to twist away, but at the same time there's something like weird and intimate about it too, and it's just like so many, it's like awful and incredible. Can I get away? Can I pull away?
You can.
I pull away. I go for the door.
Yeah. You take a step back, staring at this beautiful blonde-haired woman, this visage of perfection, except for her right hand. You remember she bites her fingernails, and you see that they're bleeding right now. But man, she is perfect from head to toe. You can see that sheer cloth heavy against her chest and her neck. Her lips are full, lush.
Autumn is terrified and enraptured, but will continue to back up towards the door and try the doorknob.
It can open if you want it to.
I open the door. I attempt to flee. What's outside the door?
You guys are back in your room, the airplane. Everything has been taken down, and the 20 individuals who were at their table have left your room and have since returned to their chairs. You three are seated. The window is close to you. You hear the pitter-patter of the rain against it.
What happened to the floorboard piece that I pulled off of the ground?
It's in your hand.
It's still in my hand. I'm not letting go.
So
It's
for
the only
Blue,
thing that
she
proves
was,
that that wasn't just...
she was just standing and staring at her
An
bloody
illusion.
hand, and then suddenly she realizes she's seated in the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
And is her hand still covered in blood?
Yes, it is.
With those little wet wipes from the dinner tray, I'm just gonna like pass over to Blue.
Blue's just like catatonically, not even like moving her hand, just gonna try and like wipe away
So pragmatic.
blood without touching it. Yeah, she's just staring in like total disbelief at this situation.
Yeah, Blue looking... Which hand did you use?
Right hand. I had
Yeah.
imagined if Aiden was on my right, we were heading towards the door, and then she slipped from him and was like,
Yeah, you realize looking at your hand that it's been bitten, right? That kind of nervous nail biting and pieces of flesh on the around the cuticle have been chewed down, so that there's a little bit of blood.
Blue's gonna stand up. Are we? This is so wrong. Something's really, really wrong. What's happening to us? Is there like, do we have like a bottle of water or any like, okay, she's gonna take that out and she's just gonna like pour it all over her hand and try and like wash everything off it and like nervously sort of do this with her
Like
hands,
you're washing, you're cleaning, and like looking around, you realize that this room, while it looks like yours, it's definitely a step up. Like there's even a shower in the corner, a stand-up shower with kind of this opaque glass. The chairs are thick and they have like this cushion so that you can lay down, and there's TVs for each of them. The bed is a kind of this circular bed pushed up against the corner. It's just really lovely.
Oh no. This isn't. Are we on the plane? Is something wrong with me? Are we on the plane or are we? This doesn't look like what the plane looked like before. Are we in Italy?
I'm starting to think it wasn't a good idea to take those plane tickets.
We broke Aiden finally.
What do I look like? What's outside the window? Because I'm sitting there with my piece of wood in my hand.
It's just darkness. It's nighttime. There's a little bit of rain on the window, but it's not really anything you can see other than like the little glowing lights from the wing every now and then in the dark.
There's nothing in this room. It's just we're just back in like a slightly more posh first class cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Blue is gonna frantically run back to her seat and like without sitting down, just leaning over it, she's going to try and look for the altitude, like the thing that shows where you're at and stuff like that.
Yeah, this screen looked infinitely cooler than it did. It's like 3D rendering of the plane and such. Yeah, it shows you above the ocean about halfway to Italy.
Okay, enough of this. We clearly can't trust our own senses. I've been pushing it off when things have been wrong, having dreams, all acting strange. We all were in Italy. We all arrived at the Red Cardinal. We all saw what we saw. We all have ended up back here. This feels just like when we met you, Blue. This feels exactly just like... What is this? I say to Autumn.
And Autumn this whole time has been kind of like running her hands like kind of over her torso and like muttering to herself like, the seed is in me. She put her seed in me. And like at first it was horrific, but the more she's thinking about it and the more her kind of indoctrination is coming up, she's like, I'm chosen. I was chosen. She gave her seed to me. And then so she like upon hearing her name kind of snaps out of this like thing and has this sort of like unfocused look to her eyes, like she's not entirely there, and she looks over and is looking around the room, sees that it's different, is noticing, you know, the state of things, and looks at Aiden. And she's like, what did you say? I wasn't listening.
And Autumn, looking down at yourself, what do you hate about your body?
Autumn hates how she's kind of shapeless. She's just like a beanpole. She's like very tall and with no curves.
How about her skin?
Her skin?
Yeah. Does she like the color, the texture of it?
It's fine. It does its job. I think she's very like, this is whatever about her body. I think what she hates most is that she like doesn't have, like there's just not a lot to her. She feels like blank, like a nothing. Like she doesn't want to be seen or perceived.
Yeah. Looking at yourself now, feeling yourself, something has changed and shifted. You are what you've always wanted to be.
I got
physically.
tits?
Yeah. I mean, look down. Well, what do you see? What makes you feel more like yourself than
Autumn,
ever?
looking down, and if she sees what she likes, she has curves, so she has hips, and she has a butt. She can't really see it, but she can feel it. She's like, oh. And maybe she has a little like more swell to her chest, a little more weight. She's like, oh. And she feels a bit more confident. She feels a bit more like self-possessed. She's like, maybe her seed did this.
Yeah, you guys notice these changes as well.
So as I was talking, I was looking out the window and I was saying we can't trust our senses, our perceptions. This feels like going through the door again. I then turned to Autumn going, what is this? And I don't even know if I finished because I look at you and I go, what? You... Autumn?
Maybe her like eyes are like a little bit bigger
What is
too.
This?
And
Her
Autumn,
hair's
you,
glossier.
yeah, you have a +1 to charisma.
Photoshop Autumn.
Yeah.
Someone put a filter on Autumn.
Yeah.
You now have the attribute touch up.
Spa day.
Love it. Okay.
Well, at least something in this room is out of place.
What
Autumn,
did you ask?
Autumn is the one that's out of place. Because everything else seemed normal at first, and now this is just proof that we're still in some kind of strange illusion. I mean, look at you. You're absolutely a 10, when clearly you were just like a 6, maybe a 7 just before.
Wow.
Lou is gonna stand up and sort of look between them in confusion and study Autumn in like...
The human brain can only perceive so many things. We're making up details based on what we're looking at and interpreting things that our eyes don't understand.
Aiden,
Just because it can't be understood doesn't mean it can't be understood.
I've been chosen. This was meant to happen.
What
This
are you
upgrade,
talking about?
we were meant to be here on this plane. I was chosen. She put her seed in me, Aiden.
Oh, so now you're in favor of taking this mysterious ticket and flying to Italy to get our names cleared. All of a sudden,
No.
you've changed your tune.
It was a bad choice to begin with, but now that we're here, I'm gonna get us out of here. I'm chosen.
I don't understand what you're saying, but by all means, sow your oats and let us blossom out of here. Trying to like use your words back on you to like fail to inspire you to.
Perhaps one day you'll be worthy, and you too will have oats sown within you, Aiden.
That sounds disconcerting.
And then she'll look to Blue and she'll be like, Blue, are you okay? I saw you amongst the flowers. Perhaps you're chosen too.
Maybe my device didn't work. Maybe we don't need a device in order to travel through that doorway to this other side. Maybe somehow being on this plane with the two of you, you've drawn me into your delusions again.
Blue is kind of focused on Autumn, and she's like, shh.
A psychic collective consciousness.
Blue is like shrinking away, like,
why do you look like this isn't what you're supposed to look like?
I've changed. I got an upgrade.
Wait, but Blue, does she look like this woman you've been dreaming of?
does she? Did she just start morphing into Dream Girl?
There's a vague similarity to it.
Okay, so Blue doesn't totally remember Dream Girl. So between the uncanny recognition that this sort of reminds her of the wife, and Autumn just being like just slightly different from what she'd always imagined Autumn, her like kind of rock and
Did you eat something? Are you having an allergic reaction, Autumn? Do we need to get an EpiPen? I'm not that kind of doctor. You look like you're swelling up, albeit in all the right places, but it's still swelling.
You're such a fucking creep.
Are you swelling too, Aiden?
Nonsense. I'm a man of science. I adjust myself.
Roll to
Nervous
adjust.
Clears my throat. I need some water.
How do we get... This is wrong.
You're right, it is wrong. There's too many power imbalances. Autumn is my assistant. There's absolutely nothing between us.
Why would you... That's not what I meant. I don't think she should
I'm trying to fix my reputation. I don't need another sexual assault allegation put against me.
Oh, another.
Oh, wait, I slipped that one out, didn't I?
Come near me, and I'll gut you.
I know. That's why you're such a good assistant. There's absolutely no temptation whatsoever for me to.
Blue is going to glare at Aiden. What are we supposed to do?
I think we should go.
Don't.
We've been in this cabin, maybe this whole time, maybe not, but we should go. I think we should investigate the plane itself. Maybe there's a portal on the plane. Something like you made it. Maybe there's something here?
Maybe there are thin places just like we went through when we used the device that year ago that the plane flew through. And now we're trapped in some whitewater rapids of insanity.
We should
in which case there's absolutely nothing to do but sit down and write it out like a bad LSD trip.
Are we going back to where I'm from?
I sincerely hope not.
I hope so.
Ooh, Mom and Dad are fighting!
I would
where the
like to
truth
know where you
is.
came from, Blue, and I do want to return there, but under my terms, under controlled circumstances, with a lifeline and a tether that I could go back to, and some kind of parachute. This is reckless.
Can I use Wayfinder to try and... Blue wants to find the way out, or what the way out would be on this plane. Like, she's trying to figure out if this is real.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Roll to find exit stage right.
Yeah.
Blue wants out. She doesn't like this. She doesn't like Autumn looking like this. It's all uncomfortable. 16! I did good. Blue is just beside herself. She doesn't like that Autumn's different. She doesn't like that things are different here. She feels like she thinks she just murdered someone, and she just wants to go home, and she doesn't even know what that is anymore.
Does she miss Daddy?
Home was inside of you all along.
Growing like a little seed, just like...
Yeah, you kind of like instinctually place your hand on that mark, that scar you have on your belly.
We thought we were playing a horror game. We were actually just playing Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts is horror.
If Blue is going to start leading us around, I'm just following Blue like
I think
they're my
like,
tour
you're saying-
guide.
I'm just sensing this within myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
I think that what this is supposed to be.
So wait, let me. As a player, we'll go back. So Ainsley asked to roll to see if there was a way out, and Mitch, you said you're drawn to the scar on your belly?
Yeah, it's
Oh, God.
I know.
Sorry, I was too much in Aiden head, and I just kind of was like filtering stuff out in my own roleplay bullshit, and then I just realized I was like, oh, we're not playing Kingdom Hearts, we're playing like one of the Saw movies now.
Yep. I know.
I love Saw.
Kingdom Hearts, the Saw.
You want to play a game?
Sorry, and quick, just from my memory, Mitch, has Blue always had this scar, or was it just like she noticed it when we first started sort of getting on the plane and shit like that?
It's hard to say.
I've been studying Blue as a research subject. We would have absolutely done like you
full
came
body
because you
checkup.
came from another dimension. Like there would have been a medical, physical. There would have been a checkup on your blood, your all that kind of shit. Like we would have done a checkup over on you. Granted, my reputation was gone, so it had to be done like a seedy back alley doctor style by me in the flop house that we were living in. But
It did happen.
did Blue have a scar before we got on the plane?
Yeah, several scars.
Several scars. And Blue had no memory of how these scars came to be, and they looked to be of different ages, like they did where they got at the same time, and it looked like they were
Different ages.
over
all around.
time.
Yeah.
Some of them looked self-inflicted, or some of them looked defensive, some of them looked medical, because like there's a difference between like I've got scars on my arm when I ran through a window when I was 7. That looks different from the kind of scars.
Yeah, outside of all of that, it is a scar that you can't quite place how it got there or the means by which it was created.
But Blue feels like comfort, like this is the way home, something.
Yeah, it's the way home, Blue. Come home.
That's gonna calm Blue a little, and you can see her face sort of relax more. Blue is going to go to the bed, and she's gonna get under the covers. And she's gonna lay down. She's gonna say, "Wake me up when we reach our destination." And she's gonna try and sleep.
Oh, you're just going to sleep at a time like this?
Yep.
I will.
Just noping out of it.
Okay, Autumn, I get it. I understand. We don't leave Blue alone anymore. If someone's looking around the airplane, someone needs to stay in the cabin. Understood. So good luck looking around the plane. I'm not leaving this room.
You think I trust you to keep an eye on Blue?
What, do you
When have
trust
you
me to walk
ever-
around this plane and find what we're looking for?
You have the only weapon between all of us. The wooden
My mind?
board. The wooden board in your hand, Aiden.
The mind can
that
be a
from?
weapon too.
I'd like to see you use it for once, maybe. Maybe I'll believe it then.
But yes, I suppose this plank of wood would come in handy. But what would someone say if they saw me walking around a plane? I can't be walking around a plane with a weapon in my hand. That's how you get duct taped to a chair. Get on a no-fly list.
Autumn just like sighs.
I'll tuck it under my shirt then. How about that?
Are you happy to see me, or is that a plank of wood in your shirt?
We get this all over with and you're no longer my assistant. By all means, we can figure something out. But for now, I'm not playing around with those power dynamics again.
I didn't want to anyways, gross old man.
You're the one coming on to me.
You're the one looking at my tits.
You're the one
Aiden.
having an allergic reaction to some high-altitude peanuts.
You keep telling yourself that.
I'm worried for your health, Autumn. I don't have an EpiPen on me.
Go look around.
Fine.
Autumn will stand watch over Blue. We can trade off when you get tuckered out.
Heading around, I don't even know what I'm looking for. This is all madness. I'm supposed to go looking around when I clearly can't even trust my own senses. This is just the blue dress, gold dress all over again.
Blue is like, her face is scrunched up. She's trying to ignore the two of you.
Autumn will like sit on the bed, like cross-legged, but like not.
If she wants to rest, let her rest, but don't let her fall asleep. Things happen when
Why?
they fall asleep.
When Blue falls asleep?
Well, we all fall asleep. We've all been having terrible dreams. I have.
I'll watch Blue.
We don't know where we are. We don't know what will happen to our perceptions if we just relax them. Also, Blue's weird. We don't know if she'll wake up.
She can hear you.
Don't fall asleep, Blue. We don't know what will happen.
I don't know if we're going to find any answers elsewhere.
Then
So
in
why
dreams?
No, just if there's no answers awake, why be awake? More than be asleep.
That's really deep.
Thanks.
Maybe we should all fall asleep together. Like a shared...
Well,
Could
what
be
am I
worse.
doing? Am I checking around the plane, or are we all having a nap cuddle party? Like, you make up your mind now.
You're
You're the
not
one
cuddling.
barking orders
No.
at me.
Not with you. Go look around.
Fine. Slam the
Come
door
back.
open.
If you don't come back in 5 minutes, we'll presume you're dead. Or in 20 minutes, we'll presume you're dead.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. And close the door behind me.
I hope Aiden doesn't die.
I hope I don't die.
I suppose it would be unfortunate if Aiden were to die.
Just think of the loss to society if they were to lose my mind. I'm saying that to myself because I'm out in the hallway by myself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Muttered
you're out in the hallway. It's black, dark. You see individuals staring forward on all these seats and chairs.
Well, I'm just stretching my legs, going to walk to the back of the plane and then to the front of the plane, keeping an eye out for things that are not supposed to be on a plane, like us, because we got off. I hope I haven't lost my
Awesome.
bags.
Avoid harm.
Oh no! It's fine.
Aiden's the squishiest, too.
Oh dear! Remember when we were all excited because we were gonna go out and explore Italy this episode and like go see the cult and stuff?
Right?
Yeah.
Void harm, you said. I rolled a 9. So I have made a bad call.
Yeah, that's I would say. All right, why don't you go ahead and endure some injury with a -2?
What is happening?
Oh, man.
Okay, so I'm walking down the hallway to the end of the plane, walking to the front of the plane, keeping an eye out for something weird. And what injury did I just? Did you say 2 points?
Yeah, -2. So you're rolling your fort with a -2. You receive a serious wound. Yeah, I choose that for you. So as you're walking down, an arm reaches out and grasps your wrist, and you look down and you notice that it's Mr. H. As his other hand moves forward and snaps your elbow the other way. As the bone just shreds through your flesh, coming out, blood dripping down your fingers onto the ground.
Yeah, no, there's no way I'm being quiet about that. That is like maybe the second most painful thing you could do to me.
Yeah, this very large man.
That's just a serious
gets
wound?
up.
Okay. I guess critical wound would be losing the arm.
Yeah.
Oh, wet
He looks down at you.
I would have to keep it together if I'm actually going to keep it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I want to be screaming out, you just broke my fucking arm. Mr. H is on this plane. You just broke my elbow. Also, Mr. H is on the plane, so I kind of want to beat him to death and throw him out the door, like Harrison Ford style. So, after everything...
He was a lovely landlord.
He was a lovely landlord who was sneaking cameras into our bathroom and is now on this plane and is stalking us and just broke my elbow. So at least now I get to say I'm standing my ground.
A father figure, truly.
Yeah, absolutely paragon of everything. Okay, so...
Can you briefly explain how having what does the -1 ongoing mean in a serious wound situation?
So everything I roll will take a -1 on anything because of my broken elbow.
Everything that would make sense for it. So like seeing through the illusion, I probably wouldn't do that for that because I feel like pain is very much in line with seeing through the illusion. But things like, acting under pressure, trying to convince someone, unless they, you could use it as empathy. So it's, -1 for stuff that applies to it.
Gotcha.
6, 4, 11.
Ooh. All right, so how do you feel? Which option do you choose?
Mr. H is on the plane. Mr. H just broke my elbow. He's telling me to be shush. But I do have a plank of wood in my jacket because Autumn told me to take it with me.
Do you want to escalate?
He's following us. He's here. He found me. Why is he here? Like there's that flashback to when we were picking up our luggage, if that even happened, and Blue was going like, hey, that looks like Mr. H's bag. Because all scared, guilt, and angry can all work here, depending on Aiden's
and like you'll probably get more later, so
yeah, probably. I think I'm picking scared because I just don't know what this guy's capable of doing. And if he can get past me and he can get back to the cabin, I really don't know what he's going to do to the two in there. Especially if they're sleeping right now. This was what they said they were going to do. Gotta wake them up.
Impeccable timing.
So, I'll pick scared.
Yeah.
And minus to stability. That also takes me into shaken territory. I'm now in serious stress.
Woo. Yeah, and he's just like lumbering over you, just saying...
kind of patting your head. I have your attention, Aiden.
I nod, gritting my teeth.
He takes out his phone and kind of goes through some photos and shows it. You see several images of Blue getting up from the toilet, standing up, tripping, falling, hitting her neck on the tub. Her neck kind of twisted, bones sticking out of her flesh. And then you see her get back up again, wash her hands, and get out. He flips to more. Southern White Baptist Church. Blue is being held down. They're throwing water at her. A priest stands above her, saying something. People are around her praying.
I don't understand. I'm saying this in not a bad roleplay, but obviously I'm breathing heavily from the pain that I have in my elbow, and I'm trying to keep it quiet so it comes up more of a haggard whisper. What are you showing me?
Your friend is possessed. We tried to get the demon out of her several times. She is not human. We didn't realize it till the end. We had plans, and then you left, Aiden.
Fool. I'm just gonna yell back to him, you foolish, close-minded, simple fool. Moron. You don't know what you're toying with.
He's gonna put a shoe right on your elbow, just kind of right above it, hovering. Shh. Don't tell me you're corrupted as well.
Blue isn't corrupted. She's, at best, a refugee. I'm studying her, you foolish man. I am trying to learn from her. I'm trying to learn where she came from. And you have been interfering with that.
She's a predator.
She is
Aiden.
my responsibility. Not yours.
She'll kill you. She'll kill you both.
I have half a mind to see what she could do to you.
You don't mean that, Aiden.
What are you doing here, Mr. H? Oh, you sad little man with your sad little mind. You don't know what I'm capable of.
Do you want me to show you what I'm capable of?
I'm saying all this even though I know I took scared, but this is how he...
Yeah, I mean, fear manifests in very strange ways.
He's very worried. He's very worried, and he's, in a way, he's almost as worried of what he's going to do to Blue and Autumn, and he's keeping him on himself.
Aiden, I don't want to do this, but it looks like I have to. I'm very sorry.
Cult Flight 191 will continue. Stay up to date with what we have planned by following us on Twitter at Dice Warriors. And throughout June and July, I was invited to join in with the Dungeons and Do-Gooders to host Tabletop Tuesdays. If you were able to join us for those live events, I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you'd like to watch them again or for the first time, visit twitch.tv/DNDG Games, where you can find the complete VODs. After our cult game wraps up in a few weeks, I'll also be repeating the audio from those live streams while I take a much-needed vacation and prepare for our 10th season of the Terrible Warriors. So something to look forward to. Speaking of our 10th season, every month I host a private game for our Patreon sponsors, and there's a chair at that virtual table waiting for you. Our August game will be playtesting Free League Games' The One Ring, the official Lord of the Rings RPG. So if you'd like to be part of that group that helps craft the experience of our next season, consider supporting us on Patreon or upgrading your support if you already are, and join us at the Tip Club. To find out more about supporting the podcast, visit patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Kult Divinity Lost is published by Helmgast. Our theme music is by Epic Game Music. All other music is licensed through Epidemic Sound. Our Terrible Warriors for Kult are Ainslie Moores, Kimberly Doing, and GM Mitch Wallace. My name is Justin Ecock, and I also edit this show. Next week on the Terrible Warriors, we find out just what everyone is capable of. And until we find you again, dear listener, at the Terrible Warrior table, thank you for listening, and be good to each other.